Hi everybody, Levi Clay here, back again to do another question and answer session. This time I'm going to be answering a question from a friend on Facebook. It's about the Kemper profiling app and Piracy. So why don't I read the question out for you and then I'll come back and talk about my thoughts on it. Yo Levi, since you just made a video on Piracy, here's another topic that recently came to my attention. What do you think of using Kemper profiles of amps that you don't own? And more specifically, what's your opinion on buying amps just to profile them and returning them to the store under an internet purchase 30-day policy? Kempers can get really close with their tone, and live can probably work as a perfect substitute of the actual amp. So it seems to me like it's really close to actual Piracy. I'm not knocking the Kemper here, same as I wouldn't knock on CD burners or MP3 files. It's just about how people use the tool. Of course, you could argue that there have been reverb VSTs, etc., that try and imitate real tools, but I don't think they're as close to the real thing. And also, they're very much a studio class tool, whereas Kempers could replace both amps in studio and live settings. Just keep in mind that this topic is a bit of a live grenade at the moment, and a lot of people think that once you get a Kemper, it's a free-for-all, and you can do whatever you want, while others swear off the thing and pledge to never use it because it's harmful to the tube amp industry. So regardless of what you say, you'll probably be under fire. Well, spoilers, I don't mind being under fire. Drop me an abusive comment, I dare you. I don't care. It doesn't upset me at all, so good luck with that. It's a very interesting question. It is. The ethics of stuff like this, piracy, and what is piracy, what is theft? Well, ultimately, no. I don't think this is piracy. I don't think it even comes close to piracy. If you compare it to something like CDs, and you talked about CD burners, yeah, sure, that's piracy. Because in that setting, when you burn a CD, you rip a CD, you burn it, what you've done is you've created zero need for the original. You have literally duplicated the original perfectly. The original now has, well, it still has purpose, but your copy can function perfectly as the original thing. And from there on out, it's possible to sell the thing that you have copied as the original. And then you're getting into a real murky world of counterfeit material, where you're selling something that isn't the genuine article, but you're trying to pass it off as the genuine article. You know, that's a very different thing to what the Kemper does, in my opinion. The Kemper, sure, I appreciate that it attempts to go down that path, but the Kemper isn't perfect. And anyone that tells you that the Kemper is perfect might be having some sort of sexual relationship with their Kemper. There's definitely an unhealthy relationship there. The Kemper isn't perfect. I have my Kemper and I love it. It's a fantastic piece of gear. But it's not a substitute for the real amp. It's not. It's damn close, but it's not a substitute. It's not a perfect substitute. In a studio setting, great, yeah, cool. In a mix, you're not going to tell the difference. But the point is, it's not a perfect substitute for the same thing. A comparison would be, you know, taking a CD that you really enjoy, listening to it, re-recording that entire CD yourself, and then trying to pass that off as the original. It's not the original, you know, it's a different thing. It's a cover. The Kemper is not an exact replication of the original. Very much in the same way that, you know, great companies like Wampler make awesome amp-in-a-box pedals. And you can buy, you know, the Slow Distortion or the Trainwreck or the 30-something, I believe it's called now. They're all amps that are designed to Triple Wreck. They're Trainwreck. They're all pedals that are designed to copy the sound of an amp. But nobody looks at those and goes, oh, you know what? I was going to buy a Mesa Boogie triple rectifier, but what I'm actually going to buy is just a Wampler triple rec pedal, and then I don't need the amp anymore. Nobody thinks that way because that's not the case. They're great, fantastic, but they're a different thing. They're not a substitute for the original. So anyone that thinks, oh, great, I've got a Kemper, I don't need amps anymore. Sure, you might be able to get by without amps, but that doesn't mean that amps don't have a purpose. It doesn't mean that amps have no use anymore. You have to understand the Kemper, as I say, is not perfect. It's digital. And that isn't an inherently bad thing, but the point is it's an estimation. When you profile an amp, what you're doing is you're trying to convert the way that an analog circuit would interpret a signal. And it does a damn good job of it. But when you look through, there are tons of great companies out there that make amp profiles. You got the M-Brit stuff and the Amp Factory stuff. Even just the stuff that you can share on the Kemper app, the thing that comes with the Kemper. What you'll quickly notice is there are lots and lots and lots and lots of profiles of the same amp. And you'd think they would sound identical, wouldn't you? But they don't. Why? Why don't they sound identical? They should do. Why wouldn't they? If the Kemper is as perfect as people will tell you it is, why aren't they all identical? Factor out the differences in mics or cabinets or whatever. Amps are different. All amps are different. So when I look at something like a Plexi profile, use an M-Brit Plexi sound, I actually do. The 72 Mars, I'm often using that. I think that came on the Kemper. Great sounding profile. I've chucked a distortion pedal in front of it, and I use it on quite a lot of things. Sounds real good. But when you look through even M-Brit stuff, Michael Britt stuff, or the Dr. Z profiles, which I have one loaded up now, what you find is that he profiles the same amp in many different ways. And that's because if you take, for example, I've got a Maz 18, no reverb on at the moment. Gain is on about, what's that, just past 9 o'clock. That it sounds a certain way. And if I were to turn that gain all the way up, that would be very different to the amp being set that way. It would make more sense to profile the amp in the exact setting and sound that you want it to. When you're doing that, the Kemper is damn close to perfect. If you're recording in a studio and you're working for an amp and you get the tone, the perfect tone, using a Kemper to then capture that perfect tone, great. It's a good tool for that. But the moment you start twiddling the knobs on the Kemper, it's not going to function in exactly the same way as when you twiddle the knobs on the actual amp. So the Kemper is not a replacement by any stretch of the imagination. It's a great tool though, don't get me wrong. I do love my Kemper. But let's get on to the shadier part of what you're talking about here. You're talking about people that have a Kemper and then they just purchase amps online with the intention of profiling them and sending them back. Well, I don't think that's a big issue. I don't think that's a widespread thing. I could be wrong, but let me tell you why I don't think that's a widespread thing. The Kemper is £1,700 piece of kit. I've got the rack mounted powered version. I think it's about £1,700. Quite a lot of money. If I wanted to buy in, I don't know, a Rev amp, I'd really like a Rev right now. Hey, Buddha. I'd really like a Rev right now. That would cost me another £2,000 on top. There's tons of great amps that I'd love. And I've purchased some profiles of those to get me close. But the point is, you need a lot of money to do the thing you're talking about. And I don't think that people are doing that. There might be some, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people that would want to do that. But I think the people that talk about doing things like that probably can't afford a Kemper in the first place. And if they can, they probably can't afford another £2,000 amp on top of it. Why would you do that? It's a lot of money to be able to do that. So sure, there might be a very, very small percentage of people that are actually doing that. But in the grand scheme of things, I can't see that being a huge problem. But yeah, is it hurting the amp industry? I would say no more or no less than amp sims do, or no more or no less than amp in a box type pedals. I also use Universal Audio, the Apollo Twin, which means I have access to their plugins. And there are some great plugins that I have for that. I've got some Fender amps, and I'm constantly looking at the Engel packs as well. And they're a lot of money, and they're great, but they're not a substitute for the real thing. It's a way for me to get damn close to the real thing for a bit less money. When the pod came out, people had this same argument. oh, it's going to come in, it's going to destroy the amp industry. It didn't though, did it? And the pod wasn't dreadful. It wasn't great, but it wasn't dreadful. Kemper is considerably more expensive than the pod. So yeah, not seeing that as being too much of a problem. But just on that subject, if there are people out there that do stuff like that, you are scumbags of the highest order. I was watching a YouTube channel recently and I can't remember who it was, which upsets me. I feel like it was Samurai Guitarist, but I know it wasn't. I just can't think who it was or what I was watching. Anyway, they were reviewing some pedals. 5 pedals. I can't remember if they were supposed to sound stupid or whatever. And the reviewer made the comment, I'm actually keeping this pedal. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to just send this one back. Send this one back to Amazon using their returns policy. Okay, if you're doing stuff like that, you're a scumbag. As simple as that. That's not what a return system is for. That's not what it's for. Stop doing that. That makes you a shitbag. Stop doing it. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Just stop doing it. If you want to review a pedal, go to the company that makes the pedal. If they don't want to send you the pedal, buy the pedal. Do you know why I say buy the pedal? Because it's not for you to just abuse a returns system. You're talking about businesses here. Businesses that have set up their business in order to make money. They provide you extreme levels of convenience and due to the internet, extreme pricing reductions on everything because everyone's competing for your business. They'll offer free shipping on things. You know, you are costing, you not only are you being shitty to their bottom line, but you're costing them money when they send you something and then you decide, nah, I was never really going to, I just wanted this for a YouTube video so I could make a bit of ad revenue. Scumbag, stop doing it. No ifs, as I say, no ands, no buts. Just stop. It's a shitty thing to do. Amazon are a big company. Yeah, okay. I'm sure their profit margin can take the hit, but it shouldn't have to. Smaller guitar shops also offer the same type of thing. Dawson's or Guitar or World Guitars or Peach Guitars, whoever you enjoy shopping from, you know, you are hurting their business by doing this. Just stop. Go and buy the pedal. You know, like I said, you're doing it for a bit of ad revenue. If you have a YouTube channel that people watch and it makes a bit of money, then how about you put your fucking hand in your pocket and spend a bit of money on your content rather than just expecting all of your content to be given to you for free by companies. Ugh, I wish I could get free stuff whenever I felt like it. You know, I keep talking about this podcast that I want to start. Well, I guess I could just go on Amazon and order a Shure SM7B. Every single time I need to record a podcast and then send it back the next day. But that's not how things work. That's not how you keep the industry that you claim to love in business. Respect it. Or don't get upset when people start ripping you off. Ugh, sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but honestly, that shocked and angered me to see that people do stupid stuff like that. So the last part is really the issues with the Kemper. I do see issues. I take issue with the proprietary nature of the profiles. Sure, there's probably not a way around this, but when I got my Kemper, instantly, and I do appreciate it, instantly I had lots of people message me via Facebook saying, oh, I got rid of my Kemper a long time ago, but I've still got a bunch of profiles on my PC. Would you like me to send them over to you? Does that fall under piracy? Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, it does. Did I take people up on these offers? Yeah, I did. There needs to be a better system in place for stuff like that. Did that stop me from going and purchasing profiles from companies? No, it didn't. Like I say, I bought some Amp Factory stuff and I bought the Dr. Z profiles and they've got a new pack that I'm looking forward to getting my hands on as well. Yeah, I get it. It's a very tough one. There essentially just needs to be a better system in place. But don't think for one second that the Kemper is the perfect solution. It's just a product that seeks to emulate something. It's never going to replace the original thing. In the same way that we're never going to replace these guitars with synth guitars. They've tried, you know, the Variacs, the Line 6 Variacs. They're cool. They're great, but they're not the same, are they? analog, digital. Maybe there will come a time where the digital stuff will be perfect. Don't think it's going to be in our lifetime. It'll be as close as, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So yeah, Kemper. The Kemper, what do you think? It is a great piece of kit, and like I say, I'm incredibly happy with mine. It makes doing my videos a lot easier. It makes recording Premier Guitar columns or book audio very easy. But having said that, you know, I still do enjoy using plugins that I've purchased as well. And I still do enjoy putting a microphone in front of my amp. It's not a one-stop shop. It's just a tool. Yeah. Do you guys see there being an issue here? Do you think it's shady? What do you think on people that just purchase products from Amazon and then send them back a week later when they're done making their money off them using a review, making reviews? I think they're pretty shitty. Lastly, I would just like to throw out a huge thank you to my patrons. These guys here support me over on patreon.com. These are all $10 guys. You can support me for as much or as little as you like, but if you support me for $10 or more, you get your name on this list. These people are absolutely awesome. These are the people that help me to purchase nice gear, rather than stealing nice gear from companies that, you know, taking advantage. So if you would like to be awesome like those people, then the best thing to do is to click this button up here. You can support me for as little as $1 and it gets you access to my private patron-only Facebook group. Lots of cool stuff going in there, behind-the-scenes stuff, transcription challenges. Check it out. I'm sure you'll see something cool on there that you can get in return for support. Subscribe by clicking this button down here, and there's also 2 more of my videos here and here. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. Keep rocking, and I will see you for another video soon. Bye.